So I almost wasted $60,000 on audio school, and here's why that would have been a terrible idea. Hey everyone, welcome back to Make the Music. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'd really like if you hit that subscribe button and like the video down below. This tells me, hey, make more videos like this. And then I also have some special benefits on my Patreon and if you join the channel today. So go ahead and check those out. Anyways, let's get into the topic of this video here. So a number of years ago, I almost decided to go to audio school post-college for my current career that I do, just basically because I was into music. I was into this whole recording thing. And it's like, okay, how do I take this to the next level? And many people think I'll just go to school for it. And that was kind of my thought process there a little bit a number of years back. But here's why that would have been a horrible idea, why I like so much more what I decided to do instead, and how audio school probably isn't for you, but it could be for you. Maybe watch this video and you'll find out if that's a good idea for you. Anyways, a number of years back, I decided, hey, I want to learn more about this recording thing. I want to, branch out a little bit. And so I actually looked into one of the bigger recording schools in the country. I don't need to name the names, but I looked into what their programs were, how much they would cost. And basically it would cost close to $50,000 to $60,000. And I had already paid for a 4-year degree, which was not audio focused, but was a very employable degree that I do enjoy, but it was not audio focused, which was kind of like my true passion and what I was kind of going into at that time anyways, and didn't realize that there were a lot of other paths for doing audio. So I almost made that decision to pay $60,000 to go to school. I would have had to move, go to this school. There's all the expenses that come with going to school, right? It's not just tuition, it's also very expensive. And now you're spending a bunch of time in school, in classes, instead of being out in the field making money, right? So it's almost like you're not just losing $60,000, you're losing way more money, plus all the money that you would have made doing a different job, right? So it's a big investment to decide to go to school, especially after you've already been to college, right? Obviously in America, high school is free, public school is free. I know private schools aren't, but public schools are free, so it's not really an investment. Well, once you start going to college, especially in the US and in the West, it can get expensive very quickly. But I soon realized after that, because I made the decision, hey, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to go do my other career. I'm going to try and learn audio a different way. I soon realized that would have been a terrible idea for a number of reasons. One, there is so much amazing education now on the internet and out on YouTube that you can basically learn this audio thing just by watching YouTube videos. Now, you can't learn it by just watching, you have to do. And so what I realized is that, hey, if I want to get good at this audio thing, I just need to spend a lot of time practicing this audio thing, right? Going to school, learning it in a bunch of workshops, yeah, that probably I would have learned some technical skills, but a lot of these technical skills, you can kind of pick up the terminology, on the internet, learning from people there, explaining how to do things. But it's like, hey, I need to start recording my own tracks, try and match amazing tracks. That's why I like Match the Sound so much, is I spend a lot of time trying to get exactly what the pro tracks sound like. How do they achieve those sounds? And back then I was not nearly as good, not nearly close to as good as this as I am now. And now that I'm sort of showing you guys my journey on this YouTube thing, I wasn't nearly as good at recording and matching tracks. And so I said, hey, if I want to match, this song or whatever, and I want to get this sound, I'm going to need to spend hours and hours learning how to do it. But in a way, it was my own free education. Yes, you don't have people there guiding you. Yes, you don't have mentors there with you. But whenever I stumbled into a problem, I would just sort of go on YouTube, go on the internet, see what people had to say about it, and then try and apply that my own way. And I really did learn quite well that way. And I think that it goes to show that if you want to really improve something, the 10,000 hour rule is definitely true. I've spent 10,000 plus, I've probably spent more hours than that in my studio producing tracks. And I think that was a way better use of my time than spending it in classes all over again, learning from people who are probably pretty knowledgeable. But the fact that I've got on the ground experience doing it myself, learning these methods, I think would just end up being way more valuable. And then the second reason I think that would have been a terrible idea is that even the paid resources, right? We talk about YouTube, right? Which is free to watch and learn about this recording thing. But the paid resources have gotten so good now as well. And they are a massive fraction of the cost of what audio school would be, right? Think of like Nail the Mix, URM Academy, things like that, Recording Revolution courses, whatever you've used. That's some of the stuff that I've used in the past. And I hope to have my own versions of that in the future for you guys to access as well. Whatever you've learned from, that stuff is a fraction of the cost of going to audio school. And I'm not hating on that as well. Like that is a great path for some people, that some people have taken that path. Obviously going to audio school, getting connected with those people, that's going to help get you further in the industry and get you connected with the individuals who are involved with the industry. And I think that's very valuable for a lot of people. I just don't think it was for me. And now that I'm considering these alternatives, that maybe for a lot of you, that might not be the path you want to go down, right? So the paid resources that we have now are so good. The free resources we have now are so good. You combine that with just practicing, just get in the studio, right? That's how I have my home studio toolbox. You guys have heard me talk about this before, which you can get in the description box down below. That's a bunch of free tools that you can start working with and experimenting with in this recording thing. Now, you can't do absolutely everything right yourself. That's why I always recommend joining a band or getting involved in your local musician scene, because you're going to meet other people who can play on their instruments, sing different ways, produce different kinds of music. And that's where you're going to learn some of the best skills from being, recording and asking to record anyone and everyone who's willing to do it, because you're going to learn so much. I had a video I did where I just tracked live drums for the first time. If I wasn't a part of a music scene or a band, I would never be able to experience that. But because I'm a part of a band and I got to have that experience, it was really cool learning and going through all that, sort of figuring out how this all works, setting up mics, tracking, phase. This is all new skills I got to learn, even though I've been doing this home studio thing for 7 or 8 years. I think another great way to do it, other than just going to audio school, is find a local studio if they still exist. Sadly, studios are slowly closing down. But if you're in a big city where the studios are, I would recommend just going there, find out if you can intern, what their positions are, what you can do, and just learning from them directly, and instead of having to pay someone to learn, right? So if that is something that you can do, go learn from a mentor like that who has records you like that sound good. Or maybe they're a local mixing engineer. There's a lot of people who they record bands, they have a home studio, but they're recording bands and they're very successful. Find someone like that. Ask if you can, edit their sessions for them, be a fly on the wall during their sessions, right? I think that's also a really good path to start getting some real world experience. Try recording stuff on your own, combining that with the education we have online. I feel like that is such a good path forward to learning this recording thing, other than being having to go to recording school and dealing with that whole hassle. So is recording school for you? Well, it wasn't for me. It could be for you. I have no idea. It depends on your particular situation. But I would just consider all these factors before you decide to put down that much money to go to recording school, right? Think about what $60,000 worth of money, to go to audio school could do for you. You could build your favorite home studio probably 12 times over for that cost. So I always tell people, maybe invest a little money up front to build a home studio. Compared to going to audio school, it is so much cheaper. And then find some mentors, either local in the bands, local artists, and then people online who can help teach you this thing. And I feel like that is a good path for many people. But if you're really committed, you want to go to audio school, you have the funds to do so, you feel like you would get good connections there, then go for it, man. Don't let anyone tell you that you're not good enough or that it's a scam or anything like that. These programs are great as well, and so you should go for it. But I would just carefully consider those factors. I carefully considered those factors. And now that I've done this a number of years, and I'm a couple years past when I thought maybe I would do that, I found that this is kind of the case. This is kind of the truth of the situation, and I'm glad I made that decision. Anyways, what is your opinion on going to audio school? Should people do it? Should people not do it? Is it worth the cost? Or did you have a good experience there? I have no idea. I want to hear what you guys have to say in the comments down below. That is my personal experience, but it's not going to work for absolutely everyone. Like I said, I have that home studio toolbox guide. You can get it in the description. 100% free, gives you a bunch of tools to start making your own music. Free tools like MIDI, where to find drum software, where to find guitar software, so you can start building that out in your home studio. I thank you guys so much for joining me today and watching this video. And anyways, I'll see you guys next time.